Thanks everybody for joining us again for another CC365 podcast. A little bit different this time. We've gone video as well as audio, and what better way for the inaugural video than the handsome gentleman we've got joining us today, Greg Gould.
I will take everything you give me. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. It is still morning.
Hello.
Now here on the coast.
Good, thank you.
Here on the coast, it's a little bit wet.
You have an amazing name. You have the same name as my sister, spelt the same way as my sister, Keylene.
That's right. No double E here.
How are you?
All right. Now, as I was just saying, it's a little bit wet here at the moment. Now, you are a coastie.
Is that rain behind you, or is that actual rain?
No, this is a waterfall behind me. This is I wish this were my Rigididge office, but this is just the background.
Yes, it is.
It's pouring. No, so it's raining here at the moment, but you're not on the coast just yet. Whereabouts are you at the moment?
No, I am in St Kilda in Melbourne, which is now what I call home.
Okay,
Having said that, I don't think when you're brought up, so I'm obviously from Lake Marmora, born and bred on the Central Coast. When you're from the Central Coast, you're always a coastie. I don't think it's...
Always a coastie. That's
I've lived all around the world. I've lived in New York. I've lived in Asia. I've now lived in Melbourne. But for me, Central Coast will always be home, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. It's always good to sort of have a home base.
My family still is. It's where my mum and dad are, my brother and sister. And it's just always going to be, my hometown.
That's it. So have you set aside some time when you're here in Wyong to visit everybody, or are you sort of going to be in and out the door?
Well, I'll be in and out the door for most of the tour. So I think we've got about 20 dates to this exciting tour. But for the Central Coast, I'm staying for about a week. I'll catch up with Mum. I'll probably go see my nan while I'm in Newcastle. My nan lives in Muswellbrook. So yeah. It's always make extra time when I'm doing shows in that area.
Well, the show's on the 30th, so with any luck, the rain turns off by then, 30th of April, that is. So we've got a little bit of time to get the weather right for you.
But even if the weather isn't right, we're at the beautiful art house, so there's plenty of shelter inside there.
Yeah. It is. It's a magnificent venue. We love it in there.
Yes,
but now that you're sort of a Melbourneite of sorts, you're probably pretty used to the rain all the time, surely.
You know what? I've actually really loved the weather. I don't really feel the cold. I mean, I've got shorts on in winter here. Like, there hasn't been I wouldn't say it's particularly rainy. Like, I look, self-confess, I spend most of my time inside working on doing chat shows like this one. But yeah, I haven't noticed it to be particularly rainy, and I quite enjoy the weather here because it's not too hot. I don't like it. When I came back, I came home for Mardi Gras for a week in Sydney, and it was so humid and so sticky, and yeah, that's not for me. I'll stay here with the ice and the Eskimos, thanks.
As long as they don't lock you down again. Now, even with COVID and everything like that, it seems like you haven't sat still, that's for sure. So you sort of had 1998, your album, that busted out with great success. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And that sort of was released in the middle of COVID, if I'm correct.
Well, at the beginning of COVID. So the last gig I had was actually at Mardi Gras 2020, which was the beginning of March. And then everything shut down, and my album came out in April. So I actually had to make a decision then whether I continue to release this album because everything was shutting down around me. And I'm like, how am I going to promote an album? But it actually kind of worked out well because whilst everyone was locked down, they needed something to listen to. They needed content, and I feel like the whole world shut down to take a listen to my album.
They did. Everyone stuck on their headphones. Typed into their keyboard. Greg Gould. Yep. I'll listen to that. Thanks.
Yeah, it was certainly a different way to launch an album, and we had a launch party on Zoom. Like, it was like I'd never done that before, but you know what? Like everything we make it happen, and I think that it was it was probably more successful because of the pandemic in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Because as I said, we were looking for things to do. We were dying for things to do. We were sitting there locked down in our pajamas listening to Greg Gould on Spotify.
How good is it being in your pajamas all day, though?
I put on a shirt for you today, but there's still. I've got underwear. That's all I've got going on. Like, we're not going to move.
No camera movement.
I actually have clothes on today too. I usually hang out my pajamas.
I don't believe you. There's a onesie going on there somewhere, I'm sure.
Now, as we spoke, you've been all over. You've been all over the world. I won't say international men of mystery. Let's say international men of music. You've been all over the world, and doing all sorts of stuff. You're back home now. You're teamed up with Kate DeAraugo Yes.
So I actually met Kate DeAraugo when I was 16 years old. I auditioned for Australian Idol the year that she won. I got to like the top, I think I'm going to say top 50 maybe. And the day that I got sent packing was the very last day of like the Hollywood week. And I ended up in her hotel room bawling my eyes out and her telling me, it's okay, it's just not your time. And she was so sweet. And she ended up going on to win the show. I never saw her since. And then 2 years later, I got introduced to her. 2 years ago, I got introduced to her and I said, hey, what are you doing? Let's create something, because she's just come back from having 10 years off music. So this is like her first big thing back into music.
So does that technically make her an old diva now? She's no longer a young diva? No, I'm kidding, Kate. I still love you.
She's got a great sense of humour, and she'll be the first. We've actually joked about that herself, because there was talk of a Young Divas reunion, and she said, you know, I don't know if we'll be called the Young Divas anymore. So,
maybe just the Divas. We won't.
The Divas, there you go.
Yeah,
and if they do a Divas tour, I'll be one of the Divas.
There you go. There you go. Now,
I actually remember.
Oh, sorry, Kate.
Oh, it's okay. I was just going to say, I actually remember watching Kate win the Australian Idol. I had a feeling she might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you vote for her?
So, pardon?
Did you vote for her?
Oh, I don't do any voting.
This is over. How do I end this?
No, but I do remember watching her, and my daughter and I said she's going to win this, and she did. So
it was a very different time in reality television. We didn't have the internet like we do now, or social media, or Netflix, or Spotify. We consume things differently. And I think those first few seasons of Idol, we all sat down together and watched it with our families, because that's what you did. Yeah. You watched Channel 9, Channel 7, or Channel 10. That's all you had.
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
It's a very different time, it did create household names like Kate, and you know, you think of those first seasons, Paulini, Rob Mills. Like, there was so many of them that are now our household names.
Dami M.
Yeah, well, she was X Factor years later, but yes, only a select handful from the years later do we know as household names. Whereas those first seasons of Idol, there were so many of them that got a career out of it. Yeah,
it's a good show. It's launched a lot of great people. So
yeah, I hear it's coming back, Australian Idol. They're apparently doing a reboot, an Australian Idol reboot at the end of this year or next year.
Oh, maybe I should go on.
Yeah.
It's all yours, Kate. Now, tell us a little bit about the lineup for Motown to Memphis, because that's quite a broad genre of Motown to Memphis, like and everything in between, it seems.
Well, it's not everything in between.
Well,
a clever marketing name from my behalf. So it's everything from Motown and everything from Memphis. So
I always thought Motown would be a great name for a lawn mowing business.
Love it. So Motown, we've got Stevie Wonder, we've got Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, the Jacksons, Gladys Knight. It's jam packed with all those fabulous artists. With Memphis, we've got Tina Turner, Elvis Presley, Dusty Springfield, Roy Orbison, and the great Aretha Franklin.
Magnificent. So the Tina Turner, that's Proud Mary, I believe.
It is Proud Mary. It's River Deep Mountain High. It's simply the best. Yeah.
Oh, how good's that?
All good.
So there's a few songs there that have been covered by a few
That's the
people.
encore. So if you like the show, you better stick around.
Absolutely.
What was your question?
Oh, I was just saying that a few of those, I think Proud Mary, that was Tina Turner a cover, or was Creedence the cover for Proud Mary? I'm
They
not
did
sure.
Creedence.
Yeah.
Tina's version. Tina's version was the cover.
There we go.
And that's the one song in the show I get to be a left a good job down in the
That's it.
A bass.
You do the bass, and Kate does the upper. Now,
Yes.
a few years back, you were here on the coast. You were doing a little theatre project. I believe, was that the Laramie project or the Laramie?
Oh, wow, yes, that was probably 2017 or 16.
So, is theatre something that you enjoy doing? Is that?
Yeah, it is. It's not something I've done a lot of because I've focused on. I guess you kind of can't do it all. I focused on being a recording artist and a live performer. Whereas music theatre, that takes up a good 6 months. Like if you do a production, for instance, but it's probably something that I'd work towards writing a musical of my own, which is there you go. That's the exclusive. I've never said that to anyone.
Fantastic, love it. Exclusive right here. Because I was just sort of looking through everything that you've done. So theatre. Obviously, incredibly successful music career, but to coincide with your music, you've also self-directed some of your videos. And it's like, well, is there anything you're not going to throw your hands at and give it a crack, or what? I hear you're pretty mean on the scissors as well.
That I don't do anymore. Even my partner has to strangle me to get a haircut out of me. I hung up the shears a couple of years back, and I haven't looked. I've lost my passion for hairdressing. Unfortunately, for those that enjoyed what I did, I often still get messages from my my old clients that I'm happy for you with your music career, but I'm not happy with my hair. So, in terms of musical theatre, I'll either write or it has to be a role that I really like. I couldn't see me in The Sound of Music, or not that I don't love watching those sort of musicals, but it would have to be a gritty role that I really enjoyed to actually be in a musical theatre production. I couldn't see myself as like Tony in West Side Story or anything like that.
What about The Phantom?
Yeah, again, I just bought tickets to see the new production of that. I love seeing it, but it's just not. It's too musical theatre for me. I'd need something like think Rent or something a bit more gutsy for me to want to be.
Now, I thought we'd. I've got a picture here. Let me see if I can share this picture with you.
Oh goodness! Yeah. My mum had hand sewn every one of those little sequins on that jacket, and that's actually my father's pool, who still lives in the family home. That's the pool I swam in as a child.
You look like you're about to pop on a sombrero and knock back several tequilas, I think, in that one.
And if I was wearing that jacket in 2022, that's exactly what I would be doing. That is Young Talent School back when I was probably about. How old do I look there? What, 8 or 9?
Oh, let's have another. Yeah, that 8 or 9 for sure.
Yeah, and it was probably. It looks with the color being red. It was probably a Christmas concert where I was performing at Westfield Tugger or one of the shopping centres at Christmas time. Or maybe because we used to perform as like a backing singer at the Chugio carols, like backing singers and dancers at that age.
That's fantastic. So I did have a little chat with a friend of yours, and she goes, I do have some embarrassing photos of Greg, but I don't think it's going to come through. And, so I thought, oh, it's all right, it's all right. And she's like,
Who's
no, I
this?
can't do it to him. I'll tell you off air who it was, but it's someone you've known for quite some time.
There's probably lots of embarrassing photos of me.
I thought, no, we can't do that to him.
Greg,
All right.
hey, Greg, this is your life.
Oh, God. Oh, gosh. I dread to think.
All right, so let's play a little game. I'm going to read out 3 fairly recent headlines regarding the Central Coast. 2 of them are true. 1 is a lie. I need you to tell me which one is the lie. So you ready for this?
Ready.
All right, first headline. Central Coast Council removes Scrabble sculpture, sparking war of words. Second headline. Tornado ripped through Central Coast of New South Wales. Third headline. Homes and school flooded, alligator relocated as severe rain lashes New South Wales Central Coast.
Gosh, I mean, the only one that I hope is true is the Scrabble one. Alligator relocated. I lived on the Central Coast for like 20 years and I never saw an alligator, so I'm going to say that one.
That one is a true headline.
What?
So
where was the alligators on the Central Coast?
At the reptile farm.
I was from, let me tell you.
It is a bit of a clickbaity headline. It was the reptile farm where they, because of the flooding, they had to move their a few of their reptiles before they, in fact, did get out.
Sad. It's horrible. And hold on, so was it the tornado then?
The tornado was the false one.
So
the tornado happened inland a little bit. So
I was like,
there has been some reports of some sort of swirly type wind going on more recently, but nothing officially tornado apparently. But that was further inland west that the tornado happened.
Come and smash our house at Lake Memorial, and we were a kid. We actually had the roof of our veranda rip off in one of the storms. I had to have it replaced.
It sounds like you're a man not to be around when it comes to natural disasters, I believe.
I hear you're a good swimmer.
Yes. Yes.
Sort of.
I'm talking about my brush with death.
Yes, the Yarramalong incident. Oh my gosh. What?
That was, and you know what was hilarious? I was working, so for those that are listening, I was in a flash flood and I had to swim to land, and it was quite dramatic.
And here I am laughing.
I was working in a hair salon in Tuggerah and trying to have a music career at the same time. And my boss at the time, again, I won't name names, but calls me and goes, so I was stuck in Yarramalong. It was all flooded. There was no way getting in or out. Like I had to swim like 1.5, almost 2 kilometers to get to land, because it was such a big stretch of water. And he calls me and he goes, well, you still need to get to work. I said, mate, there's no getting in.
Oh my gosh.
For these sorts of things. I'm like, what? I need a canoe to work?
Anyway. That is incredible.
Need a jet ski.
That is incredible.
Right? Yeah. No, they don't really plan for the whole place to be flooded. Like, it's not really a thing.
No, it's not like the bloke that put the jet ski through Macca's at Tuggerah that day.
What?
There's a video kicking around when Tuggerah at McDonald's flooded.
Here today.
Yeah. All right, well, we need to start wrapping it up, but I've got one last question for you, and it's probably the silliest question you're going to be asked ever, maybe. Now, are you reasonably familiar with Star Trek? Or at the very least, familiar with Beam Me Up, Scotty?
So he would be the one to answer the question, but I'll give it a crack.
Well, it's not like anything too drastic. You're familiar with beaming, as in Beam Me Up, Scotty?
Enough to probably answer the question.
Yeah, all right. So my question is, do you think that when they beam somebody, do they take all the atoms and everything of that person and transport them to another spot, or are they killing that person and creating a whole new person at the other end?
I like to think the first one, that they would they get transported and relocated.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think that that's probably the best way to go.
Like a snake shedding skin or something.
Sounds good to me. All right, Greg. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys.
And again, at the Art House, 30th of April, Greg Gould, Kate DeAraugo, the pair will be.
It's going to be amazing.
So many great songs there. So I think you said there before, Stevie Wonder, Gladys Knight,
Carole
Dusty
King,
Springfield, Marvin Gaye, Carole King, Aretha Franklin, Elvis, Tina Turner. Oh my gosh, that is a show not to miss. So we look forward to seeing you there on the night. And thanks again for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Do you want to take us out with a song?
Sure. What song do you want to hear?
Your favourite.
My favourite. Oh, can I pick any song?
Yeah, that's how we like. On Vogue cover.
On
Vogue
cover.
Yeah.
Else?
No, your song.
Yeah, my song. Oh gosh. Okay.
Put him on the spot now.
Put on. Don't Let Go.
All right, let's hear it.
Biggest hit.
All right. Well, we'll pop that in post, and excellent. All right.
Amazing.
Thanks again, Greg.
You make a
all
good
the
little
best.
team.
Thank you very much.
Are you a team in real life? Are you partners?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, are you in the same house? Are you hiding?
Yes,
we are in the same
house.
house at the moment, but not currently in the same room.
I was like, dude, your house is like amazing. I was looking at that graphic. I'm going, I'm in the wrong career. How do I get that?
He gives me the dodgy background.
Yeah, what you get the dodgy background with he gets the landscape. What's going on?
Yeah, he gets the landscape. I've got the piano though, so.
You'll go musical. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Ciao,
bye.
Cheers.
I often tell myself that we should be more than just friends. I know you think that if we move too soon, it would all end. I live in misery when you're not around. I won't be satisfied till we're taking those vows. There'll be some love-making, heartbreaking, soul-shaking. There'll be some